All right, so this is my daily watching the world burn video. God dang, man. There's so much, well, I'm just going to say it, so much shit that went down in the last 24 hours. I can't even keep up with it all. I mean, my God, I just kind of fish around the news. I like to kind of know what's going on in the world, and holy moly. Watching the world burn, baby. Watching the world burn. Holy moly. All right, so let's get into, I want to get into the news first, because you can just cut this video off, that you probably didn't hear about today, and that is the Russians are deploying submarines and ships off the coast of Ukraine, armed to the teeth. Let's just put it that way. I don't know what they have in there as munitions. I'm not a Russian on a sub or a ship. So, but at the fact that they're moving all of these naval vessels, that's something you probably didn't hear about today, did you? Did you? Unless you watch that cybersecurity guy. Another piece of information that I found very interesting today was that the interest rate on credit cards. By the way, I don't use your credit cards, man, and certainly don't go to the places where you can get cash and they charge you, interest on the money. If you can't buy it, just don't do it. I mean, I'm sorry, you may end up homeless, but you're just going to dig yourself into a grave. And once you're in debt, these people are going to be relentless, But anyway, credit card rates tapped out at 20%. If you're carrying a balance on your credit card at 20%, oh my God, make sure you're paying your credit. I mean, I use credit cards as a tool. I get 5% cash back for gas, and then I get 2% cash back on all my purchases. So yeah, I use them all the time, but then I pay them. Well, I don't pay them at the end of the month. I pay them constantly. I log in on my computer probably about every other day, because that's the key, is you never know what's going to happen. Hell, I broke my neck right back in May. All right, that was 3 months. 3 months I couldn't get into my bank accounts. I mean, everything just spiraled out of control. Now, luckily, I had a pretty good handle on everything during that time, but you don't know what's going to happen. So make sure you just as soon as you charge something, just pay it, man. It only takes a second, if you got to go in and look at your email anyway. Another thing was I wanted to talk about the book 1984 for just 2 seconds. Because, I never hit the patterns in my mind. I mean, oh my goodness, when we went into Iraq, we blew the hell out of it, killed 1 million people, nobody cared, everybody was cheering, yeah, rah, 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 we took out Saddam Hussein. And then what happened was we went in and we rebuilt Iraq, and of course, Exxon got the oil fields, and companies, like Halliburton and the Dick Cheney's companies, they all went in and they rebuilt Iraq. And so look at how so the defense industry profited from the war by blowing the hell out of Iraq and killing 1 million people. And then we came in with all of our corporations to rebuild Iraq, and so they made huge profits. So everybody profited, but I mean, so what I'm trying to say here is there's true evil in this world. If you're going to profit off the blood of people around the world, and so what we're seeing in Ukraine is the same rinse and repeat, So now we're going into Ukraine, and the defense industry is profiting immensely. Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, I mean, you name it, they're getting billions and billions. Everybody's getting rich off of, trying to blow up, Russia. Why in the world they wanted to fight Russia? They picked a bad battle there. Anyway, hey, yeah, I forgot about this. Hold on. I found this. You got to hear this. This is great. So let me get it going. All right, here we go. Russia. tell you, I mean, I tell you what, man, Russian opera, it's inspiring. Whether you want to cheer for Russia or root against them, whatever, that's your opinion. But I tell you what, that in music, just I could just sit in my car and listen to it, and it just gives me cold chills. But this is what we're fighting. This is a culture that has existed since 17. Well, good Lord, how long did they go back to the beginning of time? And yeah, we're going to take them on when they've got this heritage. I mean, can you imagine there are people out in the square cheering to that song, "We're going to crush Ukraine, we're going to crush the West"? Oh my God, what we've taken on is just in complete idiocy and lunacy. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the 1984 thing. So now Zelensky met with BlackRock to talk about rebuilding Ukraine after the war so that BlackRock can now make a ton of money rebuilding Ukraine. But I mean, think about the callousness of this. I mean, this is true evil. So Zelensky, he was all for, everybody's all for blowing the hell out of Ukraine. Ukraine's dying by the thousands, Russians dying by the thousands, and now they're talking about how they're going to profit after the war rebuilding Ukraine. I hope the sons of bitches don't make a dime. I'm sure that Russia's going to rebuild the areas that they've taken over, that they will probably keep. But anyway, and then of course, Zelensky showed up at the Hollywood ball that nobody watched. And that's, if it was a true leader, let me tell you what a true leader does. I'd be going to the front lines or getting, talking to my generals. I'd be having meetings, and I'd be having video conferences within my country. Of course, he's got to get the money from the United States, so I guess he's got to play the Hollywood scene because he is an actor after all. But, it doesn't seem to me like he's really looking out for the troops that are dying in the field. That's just my opinion. So now the defense industry is going to profit immensely. And then on the tail end, if all goes according to their plan, BlackRock's going to make a ton of money rebuilding Ukraine. The other thing about BlackRock I wanted to point out is they're buying up real estate all over the country. You will rent and be happy. You will never own a house ever again if the establishment has its way. So now let's get to the latest on the war. Other channels, you can watch those. I'm just going to try to just highlight the couple of things. Like I talked about the ships that are going. Of course, we've got a hypersonic Russian ship parked off the coast of the United States, threatening us with nuclear weapons. This is what the neocons and the Democrats want. The Democrats, the fighting Democrats, they're the biggest warmongers I've ever seen. I never thought the progressives were such warmongers. I mean, my God, these people want to go to nuclear war. But anyway, so let's get into oh yeah, so then you got the big Biden story. They found 3 caches of classified documents. Now that's by design. There's no way that happens unless the Democrats want it. So they don't want Biden to run in 2024. So he pissed off. I'm just going to give you my slant on it. He pissed off somebody in the deep state. That's the only way that happens because they were protecting him to the hilt. So they're throwing him under the bus, and we'll see where that goes. I can't say I'm not glad to see it. The Biden crime family might finally go down. That'll be a good thing. Pete Buttigieg on transportation. We grounded the whole airline industry. Now, see, this is what happens. When you promote, within the Democrat Party, the more incompetent you are, the bigger, the more responsibility that you're given, because it's not based on your ability to do the job. It's based on how well you play the political scene in the Democrat Party. And so that's why Pete Buttigieg, what does Pete Buttigieg know about transportation? Obviously nothing. So we grounded all the planes in the entire country. Holy moly, I guess the guy's doing a great job. And Democrats, all around the country will tell you that, they love Pete Buttigieg. Hell, he might get elected president, I probably will. And then we got we knew Pennsylvania was messed up because they elected a dead man and a zombie to Congress. So we knew that Pennsylvania was really messed up, but I didn't realize how much Chinese money was going into the Pennsylvania University. They got $67 million from China And that's another thing. Isn't it amazing that a lot of the Biden White House was getting money from the Pennsylvania University Fund that was being funded by the Chinese? Woo, what a major connection. That was all over the news today. So now, I mean, so Pennsylvania, we've elected a dead man and a zombie. And of course, the university's funded by the Chinese. Boy, I tell you, I wouldn't want to live in Pennsylvania. That seems like one corrupt state. Maybe even more so than Washington, D.C. Oh, my God, I didn't think you could get more corrupt than Washington, D.C. Oh, man, I'm telling you. So I'm just going around the horn here. That the last one was like I said, the economic ninja, and he was talking about auto sales. And I knew the auto industry was hurting because, you know, with the interest rates going up, you know, those 0% loans, those 1% loans, they're gone, man. And of course, the requirements to get credit are getting much more difficult for people. So the auto sales are way down, and he's predicting, and I kind of agree with him. I think a lot of dealerships are going to go out of business as a result of all this. And if you go to auctions right now, you're going to get a discount on your used cars, but I'd say just hold off if you can, because the price is going to continue to come down. So we'll see. Oh, by the way, I picked up that the stock I gave you yesterday. I picked up the copper mine, and I also picked up another stock that I recommended in the past. Now, I'm not a financial planner. I'm not telling you to buy these. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, okay? So, you know, you do what you want. I don't have the ticker symbols written down here. I probably should have written them down just to tell you that I was happy to have those. I just talk about on a personal note, things you might want to know if you stuck to the end of the video and didn't want to just learn about global politics. This is the case right here. This is what I buy for the Samsung Galaxy S2. It's a waterproof case. Let's see, I should have brought my glasses. Does it say? Look at this. Why wouldn't they put the name brand on here? Phone case, focus, quality, innovation. Made in China. Well, it's a tandem, right? Tandem case. Anyway, but this is what it looks like, and man, this is the best case ever, and it is a bestseller on Amazon. And that was what I had for my old phone. By the way, no news on the old phone. The person that picked it up still hasn't contacted me or the police. Who knows where that's going to go. One thing that I did want to tell you is as prices go up on eggs and produce and everything, as inflation runs rampant after the Democrats spent another $1.7 trillion, of course with the help of some rhino Republicans. I went to a local stand today because I went for a hike out at Sunny Hill Restoration Area, and I've got videos up on that, and I'll be putting them on my Outdoors with Kirk channel eventually. But look at these eggs, man. Check this out. So I picked these up at a local produce. Look at the size of them damn eggs, man. And when I say only, I spent $6.25 for these eggs, but these are hand-grown, you know, eggs. These are fresh eggs. And so I wanted to show you that. So you might want to, if you're not in the city, or even if you're in the city and go for a drive in the country, you know, look for a fresh produce stand. Maybe you can pick up something like this. And to me, that's a great price for a dozen eggs. And then look at this tomato. Man, I tell you, they had some fresh tomatoes there. These are grown right here in Florida. And the guy imports them. And by the way, the guy's got no teeth. You know, I go in there. The roof is like half hanging off of the building, you know. But he's got the best produce around, man. I love it. I love it. I always, whenever I'm up that way, because, well, I was up that way for a hike. I hiked about, 2.5, 3 hours today. So I'm pretty wiped out. So that's why you're just getting the summary today. And look at this grapefruit. I mean, you don't find this in a grocery store. See how it's kind of discolored and it's not waxed? You know, what they do in the grocery stores is they pollute all their food. And so when you go to a fresh produce stand, these are the things that you can get. I just kind of wanted to show you a couple of things that I pick up. And that's what I do, you know, when I'm out and about. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the teeth. You know, I've been trying for a year and a half, about a year and a half to get a damn dental appointment. And boy, if you don't floss, I'm going to tell you what, you're going to pay the price. But just floss. And so anyway, when I was in the hospital, one of the amazing things was they wouldn't let me brush my teeth and they wouldn't let me floss. There was no floss. There was no dental floss in the hospital. And I was talking to the hygienist as she was cleaning my teeth. I said, well, you know, when I was in the hospital for 3 months, they couldn't give me any dental floss. And she says, you know what? My mother was in the hospital for a long time. And she said the same thing happened to her. She said they would come in and they just kind of, you know, brush your teeth a little bit. And because you can't do it when you're laying in the bed with a broken neck. And so, you know, so they do like the minimum. So, you know, the gingivitis comes in. So I'm absolutely shocked that I didn't have any cavities or anything. But that's because after I finally got out of the hospital, I've been just, you know, taking care of my teeth. So 3 things that came from that was I have an electric toothbrush. If you don't have an electric toothbrush, get one. All right, I'm just telling you. This is on. I know you're like, man, this guy's all over the damn place talking about Ukraine, credit cards, everything. Well, you know, I just kind of do my daily routine. The other thing was, you know, you're going to floss your teeth. That's very, very important every damn day. But the other thing that I'm going to do tonight, and I'm going to look into it, is my wife had one of these. My ex-wife, when she moved out, she took it, but she bought a water pick. And the woman pointed out to me that, like, right up in this area, in the upper left area of my mouth here, she said, you know what, you need a water pick because I've got a gap there. And she says, even though you floss and even though you use an electric toothbrush, she says, you're not getting that area clean enough, and you're going to have more problems. I've already got a crown in there. You don't want another one. Man, those are expensive. You don't want to do that because insurance don't pay for it, I can tell you that. But so she said, get a water pick. So I'm going to look into it. And when I figure out what I'm going to buy, because I want to look at the different brands and see what's on Amazon, do a little bit of research on YouTube. That's what I do. Everything that I buy, I always research on YouTube. YouTube's a great source for finding information about products, you know. So I highly encourage you before you pay $100. I bet the water pick's probably going to be like $100. Well, I'm not going to buy it until I do some research. And now that my teeth are clean, you know, I'm good to go. All right, so that's it. Peace out. Stay free. That's the Watching the World Burn update today. If I get something else, maybe I'll make another short video tonight, but I doubt it. I'm pretty, like I said, I hiked a long ways today and I'm wiped out. So let's finish it off with always the mantra. It's good to live in the free state of Florida under the great leadership of Governor DeSantis.